Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to hell. If you're watching this video in the future, this is the moment in time where we're not sure if we're on the verge of World War III. And if you're watching this video in the past, somehow before the video was made, before YouTube, before the internet, before electricity, society, can you do us all a favour and just stop everything from happening? Thanks. My video this week is about escaping the real world, which honestly is not a reflection on the state of affairs, although I would absolutely understand why people would want to do that. It's just something that I thought was interesting and fitting for a channel that likes to explore the absurd. Lumenate is an app that claims to induce hallucinations without drugs. I think I have hallucinated in real life before. There was this one time I saw a ghost animal in my village, and I often dream with my eyes open. But I like the idea of a controlled experience and I like to try things. So this is hallucinating using an app. In their own words, Lumenate is a tech-assisted psychedelic meditation app that uses sound and stroboscopic light. So I'm going to try and show what I saw in my hallucinations. Yes, I did hallucinate. I don't think anyone will be surprised by that. But it means that there will be flashing lights later on in this video, so if that's something that you're sensitive to, then it's best that you skip chapter 2, which is between these times. Lumenate tells you that you'll experience an effortless altered state of consciousness. And that's my jam. It also says that it helps you explore your subconscious thoughts and use them to make impactful life changes. And I really like this, so I'm gonna remember those aims, do the experiment and come back to them later on to see if they worked. To use Lumenate, you need to get into a dark space, which is very easy to do in Scotland. At 7 p.m, my bedroom was in complete darkness. So once you start a session, you turn the torchlight on your phone to face your face, and you can hold it quite close or far away, depending on how intense you want the experience to be. So I was lying in bed in total darkness and I held the phone quite close to my face. At first I could just see sort of clusters of light, kind of like when you look at a light bulb and then look away and you can see like a little bruise almost. I think people call them floaters, but you know, just that sort of like vague see-through light. I also felt like I could see patterns like moving and swooshing about, and I think again that was my eyes just trying to process this flashing light that it could detect but not see properly. But then eventually I could see shapes. It was as if, although my eyes were closed, I was focusing through the eyelids, and there was different layers to the shapes. They were very jittery, a bit like an old movie or like a rotoscope. But basically the shapes were white on a black background, but within the shapes I could see these like cell-like structures. It was like dots connected with lines, kind of like when you look at cells under a microscope. The shapes were moving, and one in particular looked like the skirt of a dancer, and then there was all these sort of like liney, stringy shapes as well. And I began to freak out a little bit because I just had this sudden fear that the light was blinding me. I opened my eyes to make sure that I could still see because I was so paranoid that I was going blind, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? I even shone my phone torchlight at the wall to see if they were beaming patterns through the light, which I know shouldn't be possible, but like, you know, modern technology. But obviously they weren't actually projecting images, so I turned it back round and closed my eyes again, and before long I could see the shapes again. After that first session, I just lay in the dark and thought about whether or not I still wanted to do this. It really did have quite an effect on me that I didn't expect. But ever the risk taker, I decided I would just do another session. So this one was less guided. There was not as much explanation of what to do because you've already done it. But it meant that it got to the stage a lot quicker where I could see shapes again. So this time, the sort of stringy shapes that I saw before were more prominent, and it looked like they were stuck together, like they were trying to pull apart, but they couldn't because they were sticky. And I know this sounds really strange, but it gave me really strong spider vibes. I was like, is this tapping into my subconscious fears? Like, for real? I mean, I know that spiders are actually quite a conscious fear for me, but like, what is this? What does this mean? Do I have to make a choice around spiders? Why is Lumenate doing this to me? It was scary, because I hate spiders, but I knew that it was just light, so I wasn't running away from my own eyes, like a cartoon. The sort of monstrous-y spider part kind of moved on, and then I was just like looking at these shapes sort of moving. What was interesting about it was that my eyes were closed, but I could move my eyes around and look at different parts, and I was really trying to focus because again it had that depth where it was almost like one layer with the white shape, but then beyond that there was this weird cell-like structure. I actually began to wonder if I was seeing my contact lenses. I wear contacts every day and I thought, is this what they look like under a microscope? And I checked after, I went on Google, and that's not what they look like under a microscope. So it wasn't just me focusing on the cells within my contact lenses, it was something else. I heard the term hyperphantasia recently, which basically means photographic memory. And I think I have that. This is another thing that, as well as synesthesia, I have not realized are a brain anomaly until someone says, yeah, not everybody thinks like that. And then I realize, oh, okay, that means that I think this way. I just assumed everybody did that. But basically, hyperphantasia is when you can recall things in as much detail as a photograph. Like you remember it as if you were looking at it right now. But the reason that this is important is because I can still remember the hallucination as I saw it. And when my eyes were closed and I was looking around it, I was looking for the detail. I wanted to basically retain as strong a mental image as I possibly could. This allowed me to be able to animate it and show to you now super closely what I hallucinated. After each session, they offer you the chance to write a little log about what you saw, so I did. I think that's really nice. Maybe further down the line, I can look back on and be like, oh yeah, remember those hallucinations? And to answer the question of does it work, for me, it definitely did. The app aims to allow you to experience an altered state of consciousness. And I think for me it did. The thing is, there are debates about what consciousness is, and I have my own personal theories about everyone in the world's perception being different, whether that's slightly different or wildly different. And that stance is strengthened every time I learn that my brain is doing something different yet again. But what I experienced with the Lumenate app is different. Hey! My cat just came up and like clawed me in the leg. The hell? No! So what I experienced with the Lumenate app is different to what I experience when I normally close my eyes. You know, I don't hallucinate every time I blink. It also said that it helps you explore subconscious thought and use them to make impactful life changes. I think when I was seeing the shapes, my brain was searching for a fit on what it could see. So the first one I thought looked like a dancer's flowing skirt, and the second one I thought looked like a spider. No visual reference for a spider. I am not Googling that, but I think this was tapping into my subconscious. I think the weird heaving sticky thing was giving me spider vibes because it was kind of visually there, but also because I was experiencing a bit of fear and discomfort. But I'm not sure what decisions and life changes I would be bringing this experience into. Maybe my fears are just light. Maybe they're not real. Everything is safe. Money is just a number. Time is irrelevant. The spiders can't hold me back. Anyway, thank you for watching today. If you fancy giving Lumenate a try, I'll link it in the comments below. Maybe you'll hallucinate something profound that changes the world. Putin, if you're out there, I can't offer to be your mum, but I can offer tapping into your subconscious thoughts to make impactful life changes. It's an option. See you next time.